he and she and one other nurse were the first nurses in the emergency room at Methodist. When Paul and I were partners, they didn't drink coffee, but they'd bring coffee for us at night. Now she's the director of...
What was her name?
Janice Hacking.
What was her maiden name?
Well, it wasn't maiden then because
she was still married then?
Oh, she was divorced then.
Oh.
That was Oaks.
Divorced from Hacking?
Diane?
Diane was the other gal.
Okay, I knew Diane, yeah.
Diane and Janice.
Okay.
We used to help them in the emergency room.
When was that?
1959, 60.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
That's when Diane's old man was at Minnetonka? He's the one that shot the cat out of the tree.
Oh. Not a good move. Not a good move. That's kind of career limiting is what you might say.
It isn't bad it isn't bad if you got money like he did.
Yeah, he had the money. He didn't have to worry about it. Last I heard, he was up Danbury, up Paul's country.
Well, he was up there. She was too, but then they got divorced. I don't know
Oh.
where they've went to now.
Yeah, she was a nice gal.
But I can still remember Oaks. You want your cat out of the tree, lady? She demanded it. He did. He took a shot. Boom. There's your cat, lady.
Yep.
Sounds like somebody I know.
That's what I was thinking.
I wonder who that is. Who are we talking about first?
Who would do a thing like that?
Red-Eye Bullock? George would have done a thing like that.
I remember one time when I got in St. Louis Park and where the hell was it? Down there in the area of Aquila, they just built a bunch of new houses out in them swamps there. And I get down there and it was all swamp behind them yet. Goddamn little Jew bastard. He had a muskrat down there in his window well. And he wanted it out. He wanted me to shoot it. And I said, you know what's going to happen if I shoot that son of a bitch in there? I said, first of all, your window's going to be gone. You're going to have muskrat all over the whole side of your house. And I said, besides that, he ain't hurt nothing. Why the hell should I shoot him? I wouldn't shoot him. He got mad as hell. And he called up the chief on the phone, and the chief come back on the radio and says, I want that animal destroyed. I go back and I asked this guy, I said, you got a shovel? He said, yeah, what do you need a shovel for? I said, well, just give me a shovel. He went and got me a shovel, and I took the goddamn shovel and cut that son of a right in half. And I says, there, he's dead. And I handed the guy the shovel. I said, now you put it in the garbage can. I turned around and walked away. I got my ass chewed up for that, too. Then another time, up in the corner of Utah and Westmoreland, I think it was. And up there, and a woman had a skunk in her window well. And she had been feeding it for a day. She had put cat food and dog food down there in cans. She had a board down there, and he wouldn't come out of the damn board. I mean, she had smeared food on it. She'd done everything. She said, I don't want it killed. I'm against killing animals. So I screwed around, and I tried to get that son of a bitch up out of there. And finally, as soon as you put some food down him, you eat it. So I told her, I said, bring me some more food out here. So I got a big goblet of food, and I just dropped it down the bottom of that hole. And I grabbed that son of a bitch by the back of the neck, and I walked. And I threw that son of a bitch, and he went about 100 feet in the air. And he landed about from here to that little tree out there on the golf course. And then right there was this big high grass where that swamp was right there. And he goes off, and there was about 10 feet between that tree where he landed on the edge of that swamp. And I got up, geez, he was staggering like this here, see. Well, he got into the swamp, and I thought, oh, shit, that's all right. So, next goddamn day, I got a call up the Minneapolis Golf Club. There's a rabid skunk up there. I get up there, here's this goddamn skunk staggering all over the house. I had to end up shooting this son of a bitch anyway. And then 10 years later, I think it was when Dahl was running, I went to some kind of a deal. And I had never seen this woman since then. And she came up to me, and Jesus, she's all over me. She was praising me and telling everybody, you know, she's this and that. I kept her happy. She was really happy that I had never killed that skunk.
I made Mrs. Jimmy Robinson happy. when, it was years and years ago, but Tommy and I in the day shift working traffic, so it had to be 61, 62. Got a call up to Robinson's house, 29th and Boone. Got up there, Mrs. Robinson said, we got these 2 skunks in the garbage can. And the great white hunter is in here, and he can't kill them. So Tommy and I take the garbage can over at the edge of the road. There's kind of a woods and hill down into a swamp area, and we turn it over, and the skunks come out, and we blast them with a shotgun or pistol, I can't remember. But anyway, the next mistake I made was we boxed them up and put them in the trunk of the squad car to take down to the incinerator.
You should know better than that.
Yeah.
You learn by experience.
Every time I was in dispatching, I always got in trouble.
We didn't use that car for about 3 weeks. But then Mrs. Robinson had us come in and have coffee and breakfast for us. In fact, even later when I was acting chief, then Jimmy Robinson would have me come up and sign a deal so he could carry his pistol into Mexico when he went hunting and stuff. Gave me a pound of long grain wild rice that he had harvested up in Manitoba.
Oh, and he always sent you a Christmas card, too.
Yeah, and you'd have, Les Kuba would be in there with the paintings and stuff, talking about it. It was quite fun dealing with the old guy. But I can still remember her saying, the great white hunter can't even take care of this.
I remember one time I was dispatching and I got a call one afternoon from some woman lived over there on France and down that real ritzy area down there, right off before you, in that corner that down there. And she had dead rabbit in her yard and she wanted me to send an officer to pick it up. I said, I'm dispatching. I said, well, ma'am, our officers have to be available to go on an emergency call. How am I going to get that rabbit out of my yard? I said, well, I'll tell you what you do. You go out and you pick that rabbit up by the 2 ears. You walk back to your garbage can. You lift up the lid of the garbage can with the other one. You drop the rabbit in the can. You put the lid back on. And next week the garbage man will come and pick it up. And I hung up on her. Jesus Christ. This was about like 6:30 at night. Like a half hour later, Sargent's in there. You aren't dispatched anymore. He never would tell me. Yes. And then like that time when the guy owned the glass company, Cardinal Glass, when he stole all that goddamn glass up there in front of the St. Louis Park Theater. And Tommy went up there and he says, call Cardinal and tell him to get over and clean up. So I called down to Cardinal and told him to get it clean up. And the guy says, yeah, we'll come up. And this was like about between 8:30 and 9 in the morning, traffic up the kazoo. And they had really a big pile of glass there. And a half hour later, Tommy called me back and said, hey, call him back again. So I called him back again and got some smart-ass executive down there. So he said, well, we'll get there when we feel like it. I said, you got 30 minutes to get your ass up there and get that, and we're going to pick it up and we're going to bill you. And, because this is the way I'd been told to talk to these people. 5 minutes later, I got a call back, and it's the guy that owned the Cardinal Glass. I don't remember what the hell his name was, but he's a good buddy with M.L. Gordon. Good buddy with Clyde. And he starts telling me officer this and officer that. I said, I don't give a shit who you are. I said, you get a goddamn truck up there and pick up that goddamn glass. Well, all right, we go around and around. So finally we get all through and he says, Clyde in. I says, yeah. And I punched the button and I put on a loudspeaker, Clyde, see? So I hung up the phone and I figured, well, that takes care of that. 5 minutes later, Clyde comes storming out of his goddamn office. Stanley's desk was sitting back over here. And Roger Aronson had just come walking in out of the goddamn squad room. You know how happy Roger is all the time. He walks in out of the squad room into the office area there. And Clyde's coming towards the office, towards me. And Aronson comes through this door. And Clyde's coming this way, and the door is the dispatcher shack right here. And they meet right here. Clyde grabs Aronson by the back of the neck and opens the goddamn door and says, you're dispatching. And shoves him in the goddamn door and walks back to his office. And Stanley's sitting there, and he's red as a beet. So I got up and I walked out of Stanley. I said, well, shit. As long as he's dispatching, he ain't got anything for me to do. I might as well go home and take the rest of the day off, huh? Stanley says, if I was you, I'd get the fuck out of here. Clyde would never talk to me when he'd get pissed at me, but he'd talk around me all the time, you know. He wouldn't say, you ain't dispatching no more, or you're an asshole, or anything else. He'd just say to somebody else, you're dispatching, and walk away.
You've been relieved, don't need to tell you. Well, Clyde,
He was great for what police are supposed to be, service to the public.
That's right.
That's what he was really great about. It's too bad there ain't more chiefs like that around. It's too bad that he was sometimes as narrow-minded as he was, and that, but he did have the right ideas in that respect, I think.
Well, he must have tutored under Andy Nelson.
No, whatever.
Andy
Well,
Nelson
who's-
was the greatest diplomat that Cedar Park ever had.
Yeah, he goes.
Don't
that's the
screw with
old,
the
way of
public.
doing things.
Gloria,
Pass.
Gloria,
Yeah.
you've been very quiet about your new chief.
I'm not
Tell
gonna talk
Kersey
about
about
it.
your new chief.
I don't have anything more to say. I've talked about it.
Tell him
so
about
much,
that asshole,
nothing
Gloria.
more to say.
She's not gonna
Tell,
put
tell
not
us
gonna
all
put
about
that
that
on
asshole.
Poor Gloria, she's had a rough road to hoe. She's had to break in 4 chiefs, not a
Hey, I
damn
worked
one
for
of
Clyde too.
That's right, she had, well,
I
yeah,
worked
but
for him for a whole year and he wouldn't even speak to me. He wrote me
no,
notes.
no, the fire department jerked you out of that job. You couldn't get her out of there before she killed you.
saved you.
Tell Kersey, though, how you got to go up there and do everything. The
Gotta
city
do it.
council and all that
Gloria
shit.
used to have to go out and
She, you know,
take the
Gloria
suffers
should
off
be,
of those bicycles.
Gloria should really be the chief.
You're damn right she should have.
Goddamn
Yeah,
right.
but
She does everything.
John, the latest though is that Dave now has what he calls we. We have to.
Oh, yes.
We have to.
Yeah, it's group therapy, we.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I happen to be we right now.
I know.
Oh.
Wee
There's a
wee.
little rabbit over there up against the fence, but I don't think you can get him in your camera. He's
I
in the dark.
think you've
Quail.
broken in all of them,
rabbit.
haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Broken Homer
Too
and
dark
broken
over there.
me and
I
you
got all
worked for
kinds of little
Pete.
babies. There'll
Work
be
for
babies
Pete.
out
Work for
pretty
Pete.
soon.
Not for very
They got a
long.
little nest underneath the tree there.
Yeah, I worked for Pete.
We had little ones.
Pete
about that
George.
big just the other day.
You worked under 4 chiefs.
That time of the year.
Yeah,
And
He's
then
still there.
it's
They
so
had to work 121 days,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. But those 2 guys worked that 121st day under protest. They filed a grievance, and the arbitrator ruled against the city because Wally and Don Rambo sat in on that hearing, and they didn't have the vaguest idea what they were talking about. And they didn't bother to find out.
And it was in the same year.
Yep.
Yeah,
what do you want?
this
It was the
past year.
121st day they worked. That was
Yeah.
the day they were
What do you
scheduled.
want?
And John
No.
Sparkles is scheduled for 120
Straightening
for
those up.
next year,
Huh?
and he doesn't
Can I
have
straighten
to work
those up?
Well, go put them away.
the 121st
I don't
day.
know where they go.
Up above the
That was
microwave.
part of the ruling. Now figure that one out. Why?
Could we sail him
I mean,
on the
he's got a whole year.
That's the way the motherfucking ball bounces. Have a happy birthday and a good year. Birthday, Gloria. I gotta send that Gloria must have picked that card out, I can tell. Thank you very much. You dirty rat. Thank you. Oral sex outlawed. Stop weeping, I was only kidding. I knew the first part of this would really upset you, John, but you can see it is only a joke, and we wish you the very best on your birthday and many, many more. Thank you, George and his beautiful wife. Thank you very much. I show those to my father-in-law. He'll love it.
To the best of friends, and the best of times, and may we have many, many more.
Yeah, many more.
May we all live so long. Dee?
Dee,
Yes.
aren't you eating?
Put the friggin' camera down and come and eat.
Yes.
He's one in the margarine. You tell me I think it's probably this big.
Come on.
I think this is
Margarine here. Eat all my meat, then eat the fat.
Can I take your plate,
Eat all
Gloria?
my potatoes.
Or are you still eating?
We'll just
No, I'm not still eating.
Lila, just set them
I was
right
just
here.
about to do that, but
Set them right here on the table there. And I'm just gonna.
I don't know how the hell anybody can eat. I'm so full.
Well, we ain't figuring to eat now. Maybe about midnight, we'll have a snack or something.
Yeah. Dump them in there.
Where'd you get all your pots, George?
Damn camera, unless you want to bust it on you.
Well, I would like
like to know a little more about Cascade, George. Would you like to tell us about it? Why
I'll
you
tell you
like?
about that camera. If you want to keep it, you better get the son of a bitch out of here. I
But
paid for it, I can destroy it.
But I'd like to know about Cascade detergent. Why do you like it so well?
Cascade is not a detergent.
Yes, but why is it so good?
Are we doing a
When you do
commercial?
dishes by hand. Huh?
You're gonna get me pissed off here in a minute, Dee.
I don't care.
Oh, that goddamn
What are you gonna
camera.
do about it? Huh?
Keep it up.
Keep what up?
Get the goddamn camera out here. Like I just got through saying, you want that son of a bitch or don't you want it?